What's going on, Everly Sports? Back with another video. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the possibility of the Toronto Raptors potentially doing a sign and trade with the Atlanta Hawks involving DeAndre Hunter and Chris Boucher. We all know, of course, Chris Boucher is set to become an unrestricted free agent this summer, and DeAndre Hunter's got a year left until he becomes an RFA next season. So, some good flexibility with a guy like DeAndre Hunter, but I think this is a very possible thing that could happen. You take a look at what DeAndre Hunter's done over his career in the NBA. He's averaging 30 minutes a night, averaging over 13 points a game, shooting the ball over 43%. So he's definitely been a good player over the course of his career, and he's really showed up in the playoffs. He really has. You take a look at, last playoffs he wasn't as good, but he was still good. He averaged 11 points per game. He shot the ball very well, at 43%. And then you take a look at this, playoffs. He was lights out in the 5-game series against the Miami Heat, averaging 35 minutes a game there. He shot 56%, and he put up over 21 points per game. So in the big moments, he's really stepped up. And this past year, he averaged 13.5 points per game. The year before, 15 points per game, and then 12.3 points per game in his rookie year. Of course, he was the number 4 overall pick. He's a 6'8", 225 small forward. So he obviously provides that length that the Raptors always look for. And I think he'd be a solid player for the Toronto Raptors. I think it makes a lot of sense to, do the sign and trade. And the Atlanta Hawks have rumored to be very interested in Chris Boucher. And I think DeAndre Hunter is a guy that, intrigues the Raptors. So I think this could be a win-win for both teams. I think if both teams can, get what they want here, which would kind of be the deal of this trade, I think it makes sense for both sides. So it's definitely interesting, but I think it really makes sense. As for Chris Boucher, he's set to make probably, I would say, about $10 million a year. And I just don't think the Raptors are going to want to pay Chris Boucher that kind of money. And I get he's a great player. I really like Boucher. I like his length. He's a little bit too skinny for my liking, but he's a big guy, big arms. He's a good shot blocker. He can hit the three. I really like Boucher as a Raptor fan, and it would be tough to see him go away from the Raptors. That being said, if it means bringing in DeAndre Hunter, I think it makes a lot of sense. Now, a lot of people may say, well, what happens to the Raptors at the center spot? Because Khem Birch probably won't be back next season. They'll probably, try and trade him or, take another avenue. And then what would happen at the center spot if you lose both Boucher and Khem Birch? What happens to that size? But you still have Precious Achiuwa, and the only way I think they get rid of Birch and Boucher is if they go out and sign a center, like a Mitchell Robinson, like a Yusuf Nurkic. Rudy Gobert's name has been thrown around in trade talks involving the Raptors. DeAndre Ayton is a free agent. I don't think he's going to leave the Suns, but there's always that possibility. But I think that the Raptors, DeAndre Hunter is the type of player that the Raptors would want, and I think it makes tons of sense for the Raptors to make this sign and trade. The money matches up well. I think Hunter, being that the Raptors have, control of his contract situation, I think it makes sense. I think, by getting rid of Birch and Boucher, it leaves some room for Achiuwa to continue to grow. I really like Precious Achiuwa. And I think if you can find another guy like Boucher, I think it makes too much sense not to do this. If you can find a guy with length, like a Nick Claxton. Claxton and Boucher are a similar player. Of course, Boucher gives you that 3-point shooting, but that could be found many other places. We have so many guys on this team that could shoot the 3 ball. So I think it makes a lot of sense to do this. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I certainly think that it's a possibility. I think it's something that these two teams may talk about. I think the Raptors are going to end up, if they lose Boucher, I think it might be a sign and trade. And I think there's a strong possibility that Boucher's not back in a Raptor uniform next year. So I think the Atlanta Hawks and the Charlotte Hornets are the two likeliest destinations for Boucher. And if the Hawks want to scoop him up, I think DeAndre Hunter sign and trade would be good for the Raptors. And I think it's definitely a possibility. But you guys let me know down below in the comment section your thoughts on this possibility of the Raptors and Atlanta Hawks making the sign and trade, a 1-for-1 type deal, DeAndre Hunter for Chris Boucher. Let me know all that good stuff down below in the comment section. And as always, please leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. See you guys all in the next video. Let's go Raptors.